Oh, I'm a beastman.
Are we recording? Is this a sex thing?
It is.
It can be.
What else did you think it was?
Oh, now we just bumped our rating up to PG-13 or AA or whatever they call it in your country.
Fly me back in time so we can play among the stars. Come and see what war was like before the coming of Sigmar. In other words, here they are. In other words, that old world charm.
G'day, everyone, and welcome to another episode of That Old World Charm. We are here to, almost finish up the Arcane journals for this old world. And it is time to review the goat-legged fellows, the fawns, the true sons and children of chaos. I'm joined by the full triumvirate for this one because it has to be. It's the only way we can do it, something this amazing and grandiose. Danny, the Meat Mountain McDevitt. Hello, sir.
Hello, Adam.
And Peter the Falcon.
Hi, my babies.
Yeah, he's still doing that, guys.
Still doing
well, are you suggesting you're one of the chaos gods and you're speaking to the children of chaos?
I mean, we could go with that route. I mean, that's way better than just like the creepy,
every other alternative.
the creepy,
It's so much less sexual, though.
You said it. I didn't.
Anyway, it is time to review the Beastmen Arcane Journal. And as you're listening to this, the pre-order has just gone live. We're posting this at the second the NDA allows us to. And we're actually quite excited about this one because a couple of the boys have played quite a few games with this, and we have a very good amount of nonce and perspective on this one. Now, we're going to be starting this on page 28. And of course, there's going to be two parts of this episode. Come and join us over on Patreon to That Old World Charm to get some list tech, what we have been running, what has done well, what has not done well, and matchup ideologies as well. So what's going to work and what's going to not, and what you need to watch out for. So come and join us over there. But Danny boy, hot takes on this Arcane journal from the hip.
Oh, my God. So I cracked this bad boy open, and I'm looking through it, and I'm immediately excited. After watching Dickie play Beastmen at Adepticon and how much fun he was having, I was very jealous.
Yeah.
And so I was very excited about this journal. And initially, I was like, okay, cool. Maybe I'll try and make Minotaurs work. And then I read the book, and I thought to myself, no, I think the Primal Beast herd is where my soul lives.
Feels like one of these AOIs is a little better than the other.
Yeah, you could
for a lot of reasons.
And then I read the rules for the Herdstone, and I'm like, oh no, this is definitely going in every list.
Yes,
Herdstone is busted.
It's a busted, and I'm wondering if we're going to see an FAQ for one thing about it.
Just one. Wow.
Two later. Because there's like one little bit of abusable tech that I've heard people have already started doing with other terrain pieces, and it's real bullshit, but it is what it is. We'll get there when we get there.
Okay.
Peter, your hot takes.
I think this book is awesome. I think Beastmen players should be pretty excited for it. I'm assuming at this point, by the time you guys listen to this, someone has leaked the entire book because it's been in the wild for so long. Like we've had this book for like a month longer than we normally would have a book.
We had it before Wood Elves, right? I mean, like
we did, yeah.
We did,
and then I did a flip-de-doo and decided what else was next and put Beastmen back.
Like I've gotten quite a few games in with this, either against it with Danny or with it with some other folk, and it's a lot of fun. Even the Minotaur herd, for all its not being as good, it's got legs, specifically because of one magic item in this book. It's definitely got legs just because that exists. But having two like decked out Doom Bulls in the list that have a 2+ armor save and a 5+ ward. That just sometimes people up. So like it's not terrible.
It's pretty good.
I agree. I think for the lovers out there who just want to play their Minotaurs and go nuts, they will still get joy out of this one. But the second of the armies in for me, the Wild Herd is absolutely where I think the power will be competitively if you're going to play with this book.
And the magic items in this book.
They're
nuts.
Nuts.
Like whoever wrote this book, whoever, like when they costed the magic items, put them together, like good job. Really good job.
I kind of think the magic item selections in this book are up there with the best Arcane journals that we've seen, like Brett's and Tomb King's.
I would say they're better.
There could be, yeah. I don't think the total Arcane journal is better. I think it's possibly a top 5 Arcane journal, in my opinion, for what it does for Beastmen. I mean, it's very hard. We'll do list stuff soon. As for our tier list of Arcane journals and armies and stuff, but this does enough for Beastmen to add both X factor and different ways to play. I do think that the only issue I have, I guess, with the Wild Herd is it feels like it's just a skewed Grand Army rather than being a whole new archetype for Beastmen. Does that sound accurate to you boys?
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think
it's a minor criticism though, because it's a very good army even for me.
Yeah, like there's 2 really good rules with it. And you can really lean into one and kind of make it its own unique thing. But I think like the most powerful way to play will just be kind of like a slightly better version of the Grand Army as it's played right now. So,
All right, jumping right in, page 28 is where we are starting. This is the Minotaur Broodherd. Danny, my baby, my boy, give us a composition list. What is spicy about this?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so your 0-1 Doom Bulls per 1,000 points. And that's your only like Lord level restriction, but you can't take Great Bray Shamans. You can also take 1 Bray Shaman, regular Bray Shaman, per 1,000 points. And then you can take unlimited Gorbos, Wargors, and Centaur Chieftains. That is a choice. No level 4 is automatically putting you kind of in a place you don't really want to be most of the time, I think. And so, that's what I have to say about that. A lot of Doom Bulls is good, though. And there's a rule here that'll let your Doom Bulls be casters, which helps a little, but is very expensive. For core choices, you have to take at least 33% of your army. But you get 1 Minotaur Herd per 1,000 points as a core choice, irregardless of what characters you take. And then you get 0-1 Herdstone as a core choice. So I like that you can take your Herdstone as part of your core allowance. And then you can take Gore Herds, Uncle Hordes, and Chaos Warhounds. No Razor Gores in core is harsh, and no Chariots. Special is up to 50%, 0-1 Dragon Ogres per 1,000. And you can take Harpies, more Minotaurs, Centaurs, Razor Gores, and Gorgons. But special Gorgons, kind of cool. You can take 3 of them. That's a kind of little boogie there you got. And then rare, you can also take 33% rare. But you've got 0-1 Dragon Ogre Shaggoths per 1,000, Chaos Giants, an unlimited amount of Chaos Giants. You guys, you can take 3. And then you can also take Chaos Ogres and Chaos Trolls from Warriors of Chaos. And you can take a Gorble or Wargor to be your battle standard bearer for 25 points.
It's cool.
It is cool. It's pretty. So, I mean, you assume you're taking Minotaurs and Doom Bulls that have to have enough and have to be kitted in such a way that they're good enough just on the piece of paper that they come on, because you're not going to have any real significant ability to get magic off in order to buff and enhance these units. But the good news is Doom Bulls and Minotaurs absolutely they smash. They're really good.
Yeah, I think like from a pure math perspective, Minotaurs are like point for point one of the more deadly monstrous infantry units in the game. They die really quick unless you really abuse Motley Crew, which luckily, because of all of the new cool magic items in this book, you can even more than you could before, and create some pretty unique scenarios. So yeah, you're spending a lot of points on Minotaurs here. That's kind of your shtick.
So do you guys think that let's talk about special rules, I guess, before we talk about like what this army looks like, I suppose.
Take it away, Peter.
Okay, so the Minotaur Blood Herd has 4 special rules. The first one, bloodshed and butchery. All Doom Bulls, Gore Bulls, Minotaurs, Gores, regular Gores within a Minotaur Blood Herd gain Impetuous.
Oh
Kinda
boy,
sucks.
I love it when they give me a downgrade as one of my special rules. This is great.
It's just because they're a little extra crazy because there's no Great Bray Shamans and Beast Lords around to be like, hey guys, be slightly less crazy.
Cool.
Champions of Slaughter is the next rule. So, and this is if the general of your Minotaur Blood Herd becomes frenzied as a result of Blood Rage, not just any other regular way of frenzy, any friendly unit within its command range will also become frenzied. This is good and bad because sometimes you don't want everything in your army to be frenzied. But like if you are really good at positioning and setting shit up, like it can be amazing because like Dragon Ogres with Frenzy and Razor Gores with Frenzy are really cool. Guardian of the Herdstones is the next rule, and this one is part of the spice of this army list in that Doom Bulls and Gore Bulls get not only get to take Chaos Mutations, they also get to take Gifts of Chaos. So get to do both up to a total of 50 points, and you can mix and match.
It's spicy.
Yeah, I mean the main one you're going to do is you're probably on a Gore Bull or Doom Bull, give the Enchanting Aura for 35 points, so that they always strike last everything you're in contact with, because that's amazing. And then the last one is Magic of the Dark Gods. The general of a Minotaur Blood Herd must be a Doom Bull or Gore Bull. You can't be anything else. And then you can turn your general into a wizard. For 35 points, you can make them a level 1 wizard, or for 65 points, you can make them level 2. And you get to pick from battle magic or dark magic. A wizard with this rule may wear armor without penalty.
I'm of the opinion you're never going to do that. Does anybody disagree?
You will.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah, because of the Demon Heart. Because the Demon Heart is like, I think, the way the game's currently played, the only way this thing becomes legitimate, and it's an arcane item. So you need to have at least one wizard in your army to put it on. So
okay, fair. Sorry, that's one of the I get you. Sorry, I just caught up.
Yeah,
my brain. I hate that everything gets impetuous, but the fact that everything has to have impetuous makes everything being frenzied less bad, because like you're already having to charge all the time. So at least at least this hurts less because I got plus the attacks. And Guardians of the Herdstone does unlock a bunch of spicier combos. Like you can make a Gorm Bull almost as good as a Doom Bull.
Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. You could take 2 Doom Bulls and then a pseudo third Doom Bull, which is just a kitted out to nines.
And I think you get like right at the edge of 1,000 points doing it, but you do it.
But you do it because one of them is just going to annihilate your opponent. Like they can't really.
In a lot of the competitive Beastmen lists, you see like they usually kit out 1 Doom Bull and put it in a unit, and now you get 2. And then having that extra Gore Bull that you can make a BSB if you like, to get access to a couple of the magic banners you can't get otherwise. Like it's a good combo.
Yep.
All right.
I see this one as like very much you build a really good Death Star.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I did try this list, and my list was effectively, without going too deep into it, because I'd have to pull up some files because it gets complicated, right? It was 2 Doom Bulls that effectively had a 2+ armor save and a 5+ ward save. One of them had the Bedazzling Helm for the -1 to hit, and the Slug Skin for the -1, the extra -1 to be hit in close combat that your unit gets. And then the other one had the Always Strike Last Aura plus the Gnarl Skin to give him the extra +1 armor save, so that they both had a 2+, 5++. And then you put them in the same unit with like a Gore Bull that has a 3+ armor save and is your BSB. And then you have like 2 Minotaurs in that unit that have a 5+ armor save, 2 with a 6+ armor save, and 1 with a 4+ armor save. Like you give your champion the blackened plate.
Yep.
And so now you get to use your majority armor save when you're being shot at because of Motley Crew. And the majority is a 2+. because you have two guys with a 2+.
That's how it works.
And that unit is extraordinarily expensive, but it kills like literally everything it touches.
Oh, it kills God.
Almost impossible to kill. You just have to find a way to maneuver it because you can be easily outmaneuvered. Yeah.
So my issue with that is that that unit, when we first started describing it, sounds exactly like the Longbeard unit I've been using in Dwarves, where it has like you have 2 to 3 characters in it. It's immune to dragons because they just can't charge it and believe they're going to do anything. They usually just break the combat res, and all the rest. But then the rest of the army is where I started getting curious. And when I started piecing bits and pieces together, I just kind of came to just taking as many big monsters as I could. Like I ended up taking multiple Gorgons and Dragon Ogres and Dragon Ogre Shags. And that was pretty much my list. It was like one big brick and monsters.
Yeah, I did like a unit of Dragon Ogres. And I had 2 smaller units of Razor Gores because I was trying to take advantage of like when the frenzy popped off, having a bunch of like smaller Razor Gores going crazy. And then I had some Warhounds mainly just to protect from the Impetuous on the big unit. I'm trying to think. Oh, and the BSB I think it was the BSB. It might have been the unit itself. There's a new banner that gives like pseudo Swift Stride. It's not as good as Swift Stride, but it's close enough. Just to make sure I could get into combat.
Sure.
And that was kind of it. You don't have a lot of points left over to do shenanigans when you put in.
Once you've got 700 and 800 points in 2 Doom Balls. And
I'm kind of surprised, Peter, that you're not taking like 10 Minotaurs in your unit.
It's because I was really trying to abuse the Horde rule. And also, like, even once you get to whatever I just said, 5 or 6 plus the 3 characters, like that's already like 1,400 points in that unit, and then you don't have a lot left. So
33% core. Once you spend 800 on the Doom Balls and the whatever, and then you spend 33% core, you go like 400 points. Yay!
Yeah. So didn't have a lot else, and you do still need to hit that minimum 3 units of stuff. So like, it doesn't leave a lot left. I also thought about doing like 2 units. I think
I did as well.
Well, you got to take 2 Minotaur units in your army.
Oh, sorry. Yes, the other unit. That's the other thing. So the other unit was
mine were just min maxed.
I'd take like 1 with ambush.
Yeah, that was it. I think I had 3, but 2 or 3 with ambush and like great weapons or something, and you just hope they come on the board at a cool time and wreck something. So,
all right, moving on to the Wild Herd. The army infantry composition list is 0 to 1 Beast Lord or Great Bray Shaman for 1,000 points. Wargors, Bray Shamans, and Centaur Chieftain as you wish. 33% is core. It has to be 1 plus Primal Warherds, which we'll unpack in a moment. 0 to 1 Tuskor Chariots per 1,000 points. 0 to 1 Centaur Herds may be taken as a core choice per Centaur Chieftain taken. Gore Herds, Ungors, Warhounds, Primal Warhounds, and Razor Gore Herds taken in core as you please. Up to 50% can be 0 to 1 unit of Dragon Ogres. You can have 1 unit of Dragon Ogres. That's it. Warped Gores, Besta Gores, Harpies, Centaurs, Tuskors, and Razor Gores as you please, and 0 to 1 Cockatrice or Praeton per 1,000 points. And then in rare, we have Dragon Ogre Shaggers, Jabbersize, Cygors, and Chaos Giants, in addition to Chaos Spawn, which you'll find on 66 of Ravening Hordes. Danny, baby, how do you feel about this one?
Very good, Adam.
Very permissive, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, what you lose out of here, right? From compared to the Grand Army, is you can't take Minotaurs.
Yep.
And you can't take what are the big stupid idiots from the last
Gorgons.
Gorgons. Can't take Gorgons, and you're limited to 1 unit of Dragon Ogres, basically, right?
Yeah. Apart from that, it's do whatever you please.
It's
less Tuskor Chariots
unit as a core choice, which is actually like a pretty good consideration for the Grand Army based on a banner that we'll get to a little later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's much less chariots though, right? So it's only 2 Tuskor Chariots per 1,000 in core, and the rest has to be special.
Yep, that's correct.
Yep, fair. Peter, what do you reckon?
Oh, it's quite good. The special rules really make it quite good. It's the special rules plus the fact that like your limitations on this army are so small. Losing the Doom Bull as a character option would normally suck, but because of one of the special rules, it doesn't. because you can just turn a Beast Lord essentially, or even like a War Gore, basically becomes a Doom Bowl with this list if you want him to. So it works out just fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Might as well hit us with the special rules, Danny.
Sure. So this army also has 4 special rules. The first of which is Ancient Sorcery. So in addition to the lore magic they can normally take, they can also take no spells from the lore of Primal Magic. Spoiler, it's not good.
Yeah.
And then we have
Don't do this.
You're not doing this.
Yeah. Look. There's some of the spells are cool.
Yeah.
And like because of the meta that we're in, they're like almost very, very interesting. But
So,
I just don't think it makes the cut over like.
Yeah. I love the cool is the new bad. Like, we don't say things are bad anymore. It's like, yeah, it's cool. As soon as you don't say it's good, I'm like, okay, it's bad. no matter what the next word is, if you don't say it's good, doesn't even matter.
That's fair. But this next rule is good.
This is quite good.
Oh my
okay,
God.
so I'm going to read this whole rule, and it's a big rule because it's kind of complicated, and I just want to make sure that I'm using all the words here. So Beastmen Shamans within a Wild Herd army may leech power from nearby wizards when they attempt to cast a spell or when attempting a wizardly dispel. This rule is called Dark Coven, by the way. To do so, a Bray Shaman or Great Bray Shaman may apply a +1 modifier to their casting or dispel roll for each other friendly wizard within their command range. However, if they roll a natural double when making the roll, something has gone horribly wrong and the spell is miscast, or they have been outclassed in the art. In such cases, roll immediately on the miscast table and apply the results of the Bray Shaman or Great Bray Shaman that made the attempt and to each friendly wizard within their command range.
Oof, but also, oh my God.
Yeah, like utilizing this rule and fairly cheap wizards, I feel like Beastmen can get to the same kind of, like, almost to the same level of casting if you want to be risky as Tomb Kings.
Yeah. So I think if you want, like, you can go crazier, but if you want to have like 2 really good casters, you can get up to about a +5 in this list.
Yeah.
Reliably. It's just you go from a 1 in 36 chance of miscasting to a 1 in 6 chance.
Huge.
And frequently, when you do roll that 1 in 6, everything dies. It's if you roll Vortex on this one, because it's like you don't roll for each guy. It's whatever the first roll is what everybody takes. So
they all Vortex.
This is the list I definitely played the most. And in one game, I ran the meme to see what would happen. And on the turn, I decided to go all in. One of my Vile Tides killed all of my shamans. Except like my 2, like it killed all my mini shamans. So all 3 mini shamans died from Vortex because I rolled Vortex. And then it was like 25 Gores died.
Wow.
Of a unit of 28, I think. Like I had like 3 Gores left in the unit. What else died? A Dragon Ogre got murked. That would just happen to be at the wrong place, wrong time. It was bad. Like I think I lost like 900 points of my army to a miscast, but it was hilarious. Like it was.
So this is a meme, but also a dream. Like it is hard to quantify how like all in you go on this. Is this the primary reason to take this and take this army from me and you all in this? Like you build your little light council of like 4 casters that all bubble up and try and just get everything off, or do you ignore it and just use it for a little bit of value when you can? I'm much more on the latter, as in like I'd rather not build into this, but I would very much like to try and always have 2 casters in every army, a big and a small, just so like at least, and more of it, I would want to do it to make a level 2 and a level 4 cast almost equitably, rather than trying to make a level 4 cast to 6. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I am so risk adverse that despite having running that exact combination of casters at him, I have never once been tempted to use Dark Coven.
Mate, you are not a chaos player, are you? You just aren't. What are you
Peter's
doing
like,
here?
do you want to roll?
Get
Like, we're
out.
playing games. He's like, do you want to roll on your gifts? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be bad. And he's
Yeah,
like,
so wait,
no, you're playing Beastmen, dude. Just do it. So I rolled.
you are the
horrible.
Skaven player who pays for the Doom Rocket and the Orb and doesn't throw either. That's you. That's you, Danny. That's you.
Well, what if they scatter back into your army? Like,
Anyway,
what if I roll
the
a misfire?
real reason to play this army, Adam, is for the next special roll.
yes,
Go for it.
yes,
Go for
and
it.
I'm
This is
adamant.
Wild.
Oh my God. We got gifts from the Dark Gods. Characters, models in this army may spend an additional 25 points on magic items. But wait, that's not all. You can also spend an additional 20 points on chaos mutations.
Both.
What the crap? Extra 50 points per character.
It's
Yeah.
great.
So you mean I can get Slug Skin and Gnarled Hide on the same guy? Finally.
Yes.
Oh, all your
Yes.
dreams came true. Everyone wanted this to be a thing. Yay.
And now I can afford the new broken, extremely common magic armor.
Yeah. And this leads to like such wicked little combinations.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was running I mentioned it to Danny, like a really cute Skin of Man level 2 that I absolutely loved. He just is so cute. He does his little thing, but you have like an extra. You're basically your level 2 now has 100 points of magic items to spend, right?
Right.
Extra, and so you can go wild. And you can have him sit on like a 2+ armor save and a 5+ ward, and still like be able to dispel as if he's like a level 5 caster. If you set it all up right, and it's incredible. I love it. Love every second of it.
I believe this is OTT. I believe this is too much. Didn't need to be 25 of both. It didn't.
Get out
It
of here.
really did not.
Get out of here.
The fact that it is amazing though. And yeah, go for it. Go nuts.
Yeah, you're gonna make. It's basically going to let you make one guy that isn't usually that amazing spectacular.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we saw what this did for royal hosts, royal clans rather, for dwarves, and it pretty much took a bunch of characters which kind of weren't anything special to like the zenith of their crafts. Like you wanted, like the king on Shield Bearers is the best anti-dragon, non-dragon character in the game, for example, because of the extra 25 points. All right, last special rule, Danny.
The last special rule is called roaming warbands. Within a wild herd army, any number of gore herds, ungore herds, primal war herds, and centigore herds may have the ambusher special rule at the cost of 1+1 point per model. Any number of beastmen chieftains and centigore chieftains may have the ambusher rules for +10 points per model. In addition, 0 to 1 gore herd, ungore herd, or centigore herd per 1,000 points with a unit strength of 10 or less may be given the ambusher special rule for free. This is a nice little bonus, and sometimes it's going to be good, and sometimes you're not going to ever take it.
Yeah, there's I think there's a build where it's great.
Do you think you can make an ambush like this? This army has more ambush control. There's, by the way, another spoiler, guys. There's another magic item that affects ambush rolls.
Yeah.
This has the most absolutely like best manipulation of the ambush phase that we've seen so far, or like ambusher rule that we've seen so far, right?
For now, for the next few weeks at least.
Sorry.
But
snap.
But yeah, no, it's quite good. I think there is a build here. So like because of the core, like Beastman core, it has some great options like Razor Gores, but you have to take that 1+ Primal Herd, and Primal Herd is okay. Like it's not game breaking. I think there's a play or a build where you pay the points and you make like a bigger Primal Herd unit and you just put them into ambush and you don't care when they come on the board because your whole goal is like, I just want to save these points as long as I can.
Right.
Yeah. So,
yeah, I mean, you can even bank points in that with ambushers, right? Like with with like characters and that kind of stuff, and just really take it off the table for your opponent to get.
Yeah, like you could put your Wargore BSB and pay the extra 10 points for him and put him in there too, and you could probably dump 1,200 points into ambush in a single unit, and then be like, deal with all these Razor Gores and Dragon Ogres and stuff. And then hopefully I'll show up on turn 5 and I'm going to win that way. Something like that, right? So,
well, yeah, it's just Primal Herds can't have Ambusher.
They can in this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, gives it
One
for
point per
plus
model.
one.
Yeah.
You just read the rule, Danny.
oh
Danny.
yeah. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I missed the Primal Warherds were in the top part. Man, that's
Yeah. No, I get it.
well. You
No,
can't
it's-
take Primal Warherds in any other army. Why isn't this just an option? Well, what-
I know. Like, they made some choices. It's okay.
Yeah.
All right. First of the special characters, Kralmar, the Prophet of Ruin, comes in at 245 points, is a level 4, movement 5, weapon skill 3, blitz skill 3, strength 4, toughness 5, 4 wounds, initiative 3, and 2 attacks, leadership 8. Special rules: Braystaff, Future Sight, Gaze of the Gods, Leering Spirit, Law of the Beasts, Mark of Chaos Undivided, Primal Fury, and Warband. Comes stock with a 4+ ward save against or any wounds suffered. Quite good when he's got a +1 wound on a regular Great Bray already, being wound 4 rather than 3. Leering Spirit is when Kralmar is deployed, place a Leering Spirit marker anywhere on the battlefield that is not within 8 of an enemy unit. Once placed, a Leering Spirit marker does not move, but has 360 line of sight. The marker cannot be charged, targeted, or attacked in any way. However, if Kralmar is removed from play as a casualty, the Leering Spirit marker is also removed. During the shooting phase of each of Kralmar's turns, the Leering Spirit marker may cast the Devolve spell from the Law of Beasts as a bound spell, power level 3. Note that it is ignored for the purposes of movement, combat, and line of sight as if it was not there. Should the presence of it interfere with the positioning of units, simply make notes of its position, move it aside, and replace it when it's convenient to do so. And then lastly, Grisly Totem. It's a Braystaff. In addition to all enemy units within 6 suffer a -1 modifier to leadership to a minimum of 2. Not bad. I'm just going to quickly ask off the cuff, how much is a usual level 4 Great Bray? With
185.
185, and then what we add 35 for a 5 up ward, and you're at what 115? 120, sorry,
220.
220. So for 25 more points, you get a 4+ instead of a 5+. You get another wound, and you get your little Leering Spirit and Grisly Totem.
And you lose 2 weapon skill.
Ah, yes, because he's uber trash in combat. But
Because
whatever.
he's blind.
He's blind. He's got no eyeballs.
That makes sense. Yeah.
The dude, the dude's lore is super cool. He's like,
it is.
he's because he's like,
Morgor's dad.
he's Morgor's. Well, he's both Morgor's like adopted son and father.
Yeah.
Because of
Yikes! What is this Lannister bullshit?
Well, because like the lore is that Morgor, who is like the worst, best shaman ever, prophesied that a baby would be born that was basically Jesus, and then it was Kralmar.
Go Jesus!
And then Kralmar went and tried to like kill all the wood elves with Morgor. Morgor dies and gets reborn, and Kralmar sees it because he's blind because of prophecy. And so he's like, well, now I got to go raise new Morgor because I can't handle the Mage Queen by myself. So he's like Morgor's son and dad at the same time, adopted.
Once removed.
Once removed. Something like that.
On a Sunday in a leap year. He can take Dark Magic and Primal Magic, which means you're taking Dark Magic. And how do we actually feel about Kralmar?
Okay.
He's fine, but I'm not whelmed, but I'm not impressed either. I'm like, oh, he's
There's
fine.
like a cool bit thing you can do here, maybe sometimes, where you make a Beastmen Scream army.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Because like there's a few other leadership debuffs around in their list, and you can take Devolve, which is just a spell. It's one of their default spells, and it's Banshee Scream, right?
Yeah.
And he can take Dark Magic. So you've got some good leadership debuffs in that. Right? Because they have the template that lets you not use Inspiring Presence.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think that might be a cute thing that you can do. Like, I don't think he's good. Like, he's not great. I think you get some good stats for his points. Like 4+ ward, toughness 5, 4 wounds is like a tough foot character.
Yeah,
but you can't stick him on a chariot, which really makes the other shamans tough.
Yeah.
And he's got like a 5+ armor save if you want to, because he's got a Bray staff. Yeah, I don't know. He's 245 is he should maybe be a little cheaper, I think, than that, but I think he's otherwise like fine for what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I get why they put him at 245 because it's theoretically it's cheap for what he does.
Yeah.
If you were to if you were to customize a Bray Shaman to do what he does, it would be around that many points. The problem is you would just never would do that. You'd always build him better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if you were building, because I've seen some people talking from the previews and leaks, because there were, at least until we recorded, most of the leaks have been only half right about what's come out, which shocked me. There's a lot of people talking about doing Scream lists, and like Danny said, he would be the one you would build that around, I think.
And that concept is not good, it's cute.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not as good as just doing a bunch of Vile Tides, which is better.
Vile Tide is just universally a better spell to me. It has so many good applications. It feels unbelievably powerful every single time I roll all those dice.
And and Devolve is not a Scream, right?
No.
Not even close. Well, I guess it is close. It's you're sacrificing the extra 2 leadership, and you have no access to necromancy. But yeah, if you want to do a cute build, Anyway.
All right. Danny or Peter, whoever wants it, Goros, Warhoof, let's do it.
The sire of 1,000 young.
I think Peter's stated his claim.
Yeah, okay. I was going to claim it because he's one of my favorite characters.
No,
Peter,
Danny, if he's your favorite,
then Danny, you got it.
No, Danny,
no.
He's your favorite, Danny.
It's 2 versus 1. Just do it.
I'm gonna claim it.
I just yelled out sire. You can do the rest.
Goros Warhoof, sire of 1,000 young. He's a centaur. He's a centaur chieftain, so you can include him in the same way you could normally. He is movement 8, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 3, strength 5, toughness 4, 3 wounds, initiative 4, attacks 4, leadership 8, and is 155 points. Comparing this to the normal centaur chieftain, I think is 85. Oh no, he's 70 points. I think, right?
Yeah.
This guy's more than double and then some, but you get a lot more.
You get for 80. So for 80 points, you get this guy. So he comes stock standard. He's heavy cavalry, which is important, I think. And he's got the special rules: Drunken, Father of Beasts, Gaze of the Gods, Mark of Chaos Undivided, Move Through Cover, Primal Fury, Stomp Attacks D3, Swift Stride, the Sons of Goros, and the Warband special rule. He comes stock standard with a hand weapon, Man Smasher. I love that. And because all this dude does is smash Beastmen. Men. Fire of 1,000 young, you guys. And then he also has a Skull of the Unicorn Lord, which is literally the skull of a tiny baby unicorn that he killed, and he thinks he's the best for having it.
Yeah. So good.
So the Father of Beasts special rule is while within Goros Warhoof's command range, friendly centaur units may re-roll the d6 when rolling on the drunken table. Neat. That makes them a lot more reliable. Sons of Goros, if you're going to take centaurs, of course. Sons of Goros, 0-1 centaur are heard in the same muster list as Goros, may be upgraded to the Sons of Goros for +2 points per model. Sons of Goros have a +1 modifier to their weapon skill and leadership characteristics, and gain the Armor Bane 1 special rule. He also has the Skull of the Unicorn Lord, which gives him a 6-up ward save against any wounds suffered that were caused by a non-magical enemy attack, and he gets a 5+ ward save against wounds that are suffered that are caused by a magical enemy attack. His magic weapon is Man Smasher. It's a close combat weapon, +1 strength, -1 AP, so this makes him strength 6. It has the Armor Bane 1 special rule, magic attacks and multiple wounds D3. And this weapon's strength modifier only applies in a turn in which the model charged. So then it's only strength 6. All right.
So there's a lot to unpack here.
He is kind of unlocks a unit almost. There might be a centaur unit that acts like a Wild Rider unit.
That's what I was about to say. But I never love the fact that this guy is costed very highly already, and then he lets you take a unit that you can then cost again.
Make more.
I wish he just correct, because you're taking 5+, possibly 8 to 9+ centaurs, pushing this guy's points out by another 2 points per model, possibly another 20 odd points on top. I wish he just gave weapon skill leadership to the unit of centaurs he joins. I don't understand why they need to be too much better. Well,
I agree.
So much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's effectively just got a 6+ ward save, right?
Yeah.
That's his only save.
Yeah, against yes. So
I mean, I get magical attacks, but like, yeah.
Yeah, he's T4 3 wounds with no armor save.
So one of the things, since he's heavy cavalry, does that mean if I join him to my Centaurs, they lose light cavalry?
Oh.
I don't think so.
I have to. I didn't know if one of you knew off the top of your head. I forgot.
Don't believe so.
Better freak. Out.
If they have skirmishers, they lose skirmish. They would lose skirmish, but they don't lose like open.
Oh yeah, so they can't skirmish then with him because they can normally skirmish.
Yeah, so if he joined the unit, they couldn't skirmish.
That's
it would have to be an open order.
Yeah, he doesn't have open order or closed order or skirmish on his.
Yeah, the characters just normally don't.
Of course, yeah, of course.
There's like one in the game that does in the Wood Elf book, and I think that was a misprint. But
I do like that he has D3 wounds is not bad to have. I'm of the opinion you're just not doing this though, because
no,
it's not that he's bad. It's just the Centaur package is just not worth investing in.
If this is your GM and you want to bring this unit because you think it's really cool, like you can justify this however you want. But like if you spend the points on this, you could spend the points somewhere else and they would be more efficient. But God, you just be the coolest guy.
Listen, this is what I'm going to tell you what you should do. Okay. Because we just talked about the Primal Wild Herd. You could buy the Goros Warhoof model and then just make a custom Centaur Chieftain using the Primal Ward because you have 75 points in magic items and 50 points or 75 points in mutations, and just make a better Goros Warhoof. Like infinitely better.
10 times better.
Like,
okay. Still gets one unit of Centaurs in core. They won't have +1 weapon skill, +1 leadership, but crap, the +1 weapon skill wasn't helping them that much anyway.
Also, don't take those Centaurs. Just take
him.
You can hide him behind some dragon ogres or some shit and like live your life.
I kind of like Centaur Chieftains by themselves as like missiles or darts. I think they're cool for that, but otherwise I would probably avoid them. And I definitely am not influenced by the 10 Centaurs that I have on my desk right now.
Definitely not. Definitely.
Yeah. No.
All right, moving on. Warped Gauls are up next. These guys are movement 5, weapon skill 4, bliss skill 2, strength 3, T4, 1 wound, 3 attacks, 3 initiative, D3 attacks, leadership 7 or 8 on their side. They come at 16 points per model. They are equipped with hand weapons. They can have additional hand weapon or shields for free. And then, of course, you have 8 points for the Sarge or 6 points for the other upgrades. And for 1 point per model, they get ambushes. They have Armored Hide 1, Blessings of Chaos, Blood Rage, Mark of Chaos Undivided, Move Through Cover, Open Order, Primal Fury, Random Attacks, Stubborn, and Warband. Stubborn, nice. When this unit's combat is chosen during step 1.1 of the Choose and Fire combat subphase, roll on the table below to determine the effects of their warped blessings. 1 to 2, Stinging Barbs. Poison attacks. 3 to 4, AP 2. 5 to 6, +1 modifier to their toughness. Why is 5 to 6 the worst one?
So these are just like bad Forsaken for only like 2 or 3 less points.
Yeah. They're Forsaken without an armor save for less points.
Oh, they have an armor save. They don't get a ward save. So they're 6+ armor base.
Armored Hide 1 isn't an armor save.
Okay. Straight up, like this is maybe one of the worst units I've seen.
Yes.
I hate to be negative. Like I don't want to be super critical, but like this unit is priced so badly at 16 points a model. These guys are like max like 11 or 12.
I was going to say 12 at absolute most.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if like the thing about Forsaken that makes them amazing is they have a 5+ ward save, which these guys don't get. And you can give them Swift Stride or Hatred everything. Most people just take the Swift Stride, right? Incredible. And that's for 3 more points. And they also have 1 more strength. And they can get Killing Blow rather than +1 toughness.
But wait, there's more.
Points. Just
there's
3 points,
more stuff
you get all of that more stuff. So like I don't see a world. The only world I see you taking these is for the hobby, because you can customize some amazing looking gores. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Yeah, if these guys were like a little cheaper, like I would maybe think about them as like a little stubborn like unit.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, but like just I can't can't afford you guys.
My issue is they're not survivable enough to be a Fabago beta,
Right.
like to just go in and Fabago to make a little trap or pull someone into the pincers or something. Because firstly, for 5 models at 16 points, it's not cheap enough to warrant that usage. And then it's just 5 toughness 4 wounds with a 6-up. They're just dead. Like a handful of archers will just put these guys down. And really frustrating for that many points.
These guys are like the same points as a War Dancer.
Oh, it makes no sense at all. Yeah, makes no sense. And the fact that one of their enhancements is +1 toughness, one of their rolls, yeesh, what were you thinking? Yeah.
Anyway, don't take them. Let's move on.
Peter, baby, take it with the Warhounds.
Primal Warhounds. This is an interesting unit. So what if you took Chaos Warhounds and just said you could take a lot of them? So Primal Warhounds, movement 7, weapon skill 4, strength 3, tough 3, 1 wound each, initiative 3, 1 attack, leadership 5, 6 points per model. Chaos Warhound, basically. Their unit size 10 plus. They're war beasts. You can, as an option, include 1 Ungor Ravager for every 3 Primal Warhounds for 7 extra points. You can pay 1 point per model for Armored Hide to get them a 6-up armor. You don't do that. Or you can also pay 1 point per model for poisoned attacks. In this case, if you are running these guys, you might. I'll get into that in a second. They have Close Order. That's great. Horde. Great. Motley Crew. Okay. Move through cover. Awesome. Swift Stride. Amazing. Warband. Super cool. Ungor Ravagers are just an Ungor, but they only can take, they get the hand weapons, throwing spears and shields, movements. The big thing about the Ungor here, though, and this is something where they made the mistake in Ravening Hordes and corrected it here, they're movement 7. So they're the same movement speed as the Primal Warhounds. And not only that, they have Swift Stride, Warband, Primal Fury, everything else. And they have the Leader of the Pack special rule as their extra one, which is models with the special rule can be taken with Primal Warhounds. Models with the special rule must be positioned at the rear of the unit. Any Primal Warhounds in this unit must always occupy the front ranks. And what this does is it gives you the option if you want to, and I don't know if you do this, but it's not terrible. And if infantry get better, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Where they the Primal Warhounds can use your general's leadership because the Ungor Ravager's there. So that's a great bonus. And like with Horde and Close Order, you can like take like a shit ton of these guys for basically nothing and have a whole bunch of poisoned attacks that move really fast and have some combat res, right?
Yeah.
And because they're war beasts, they don't have loner. There's probably a place where you could put a BSB in the unit too. And
I was about to say, without loner, you could actually make a Death Star out of this if you wanted to. If you really wanted to, you could just
you probably don't. But yeah, you
probably don't. But you could
because they have no save. But like it's a very fast unit. Poison attacks, you could take a lot of them. I think there's
you could join Goros to this unit, Peter.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god, that's how you play Goros. Guys, we did it. We fixed Goros. But yeah, no, this is. I think there's something here. Maybe not right this second, but I think there's something here.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that. You gave me an idea for like an MMU army with like a bunch of units of these because they're like pretty cheap. Like you're looking at what, like a little bit more than 60 points for 10 with 3 guys.
Yeah.
I guess it's like 81 points. That's not terrible. Or if you wanted to give them poison, then that's another 13 points
or something.
Yeah, so that's 94.
Yeah, it's not terrible.
No, that's not bad.
Bunch of poison attacks that move real fast.
By themselves, their leadership 8.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because Warband plus the leadership 7 of the Ravager. Yep, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have Swift Stride. They reroll their charges.
Right.
Can you give these guys ambush in the?
No.
Not even in the Army of Infamy.
Good question.
No.
No, just gore stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, probably.
Gores and
Damn it.
centaurs.
That's what it's missing. If I could put these guys in ambush, I'd like them a lot.
Yeah.
I think so.
That would be a really annoying unit to show up on the flank.
It is
Right?
like two or three of them.
Yeah.
Just like rocking up less than 100 points each. Like, yeah, well, every little bunker you've got is in trouble.
Mhm.
All right, Primal Warherds, Peter.
Okay, the Primal Warherd. So this is the like mandatory unit in the Wild Herd. It is just the old school mixing that they used to be able to do of gores and ungores. So the minimum unit size is 10 gores and 10 ungores. The base come with hand weapons for the gores, hand weapons and shields for the ungores. The gores can get can pay for either additional hand weapons or shields, but it's free, so you just pick which one you want. Ungors can only pick between thrusting spears and throwing spears, so you can't take ungor archers like you can if they're by themselves, which is unfortunate because I think that would make this unit awesome.
Totally agree.
You can upgrade. You can't upgrade the ungors, but you can upgrade your gores to have like your champ, standard bearer, and musician, and you can have a magic standard worth up to 50 points, just like a gore herd. A foe render for free can take a great weapon or a shield, and then, or you could take a shield, but you can get a great weapon, and then you can purchase magic items up to a total of 25 points for your foe render. You probably don't, but you'll take that great weapon for free. And then for special rules, they have Bestial Charge, which is what the gores get, Blood Rage, Close Order, Horde, Impetuous, Mark of Chaos and Divided, Mixed Unit, Motley Crew, but with an asterisk because it's a special kind of Motley Crew, Move Through Cover, Primal Fury, and Warband. And the asterisk is just basically says that when you're writing a list, the Warherd must have at least 10 gores and 10 ungores. The gores are always in the front of the unit. The ungores always have to be in the back. When you're in combat, you pull the gores. When you're in shooting, you take it's 50-50
Evenly. Yeah, you got to take
you
one.
always you don't like roll to see. It's just you always take evenly from the, and that's you split the hits, not the wounds.
Yeah,
so like
correct.
if you get 10 hits, 5 of the hits go on ungores and you roll a wound on them, and 5 go on the gores and you roll on them. And then lastly, the bestial charge is just the same as the gore one is, which is as long as you move at least 3 inches on a charge, your gores are strength 4 instead of strength 3.
Oh yeah, and the warped gores don't have that for some reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway,
so one thing I love all the free stuff. I love all the customization that is free on this unit. I think that is good. I think that is as it should be. You can build this and play it however you please. I hate they gave it Impetuous. I freaking loathe that this unit has Impetuous so much in my soul. It pretty much kills it. It kills the unit. It would be, you could build around this unit. You could invest in this unit. You could take it to the moon if you wanted to. But then like Impetuous just sometimes says no to all your plans, and therefore you can't rely or build around this anymore. And it really shits me.
Yeah. The only reason why you take this unit is because you have to.
You do.
Yep.
I'm of the opinion you min-max it. That's it. You got 10 and 10. That's it. You chuck your Great Bray in there as your bunker, but it's got Impetuous, so you can't do it. So,
you put your Wargore in it, probably. You decked out Wargore. You basically do what like a lot of the Beastmen, I shouldn't say a lot, but many Beastmen lists do, where you have like the Doom Bull and the Gore unit. You just make it slightly worse in that they have Impetuous, but then you also add in that you have this like ridiculous Wargore in that's almost a Doom Bull level, but without paying all the points for it. So,
yep, fair. I'm disappointed by him. Just please stop using Impetuous. Just delete it.
Yeah, Wood Elves and Beastmen, they just really wanted everybody to not have any control of the army.
No. All right, Praeton is up next. This is essentially a super cockatrice. Yeah. What is this in the fluff?
It's like a woodland creature that has been like deformed by chaos and.
It's like a flying stag that eats people's hearts, Adam.
Equine head with twisted antlers, which have caused bold knights and careless hunters to mistake them for majestic great stags. much to their error. They possess a dark cunning. Oh, there you go. Movement 6. What am I saying? They're flight 10, rather. Weapon skill 5. None of those numbers were correct. Bliss skill 0. Strength 5. Touch of 5. 4 wounds. Initiative 5. 4 attacks. Leadership 6. 160 points for this monstrous creature. Got claws and fangs, twisted antlers, and scaly skin. Can have ambushes for 10 points or frenzy for 5 points. They come with closed order, crown of antlers, endless malice. Like I said, fly 10. D3 impact hits large target and terror. Crown of antlers is impact hits caused with this special rule have armor bane 1 and AP 1. And then endless malice. If this model wins a round of combat and chooses to restrain and reform and passes its leadership test to do so, enemy units within 6 of it must take a panic test as if a nearby friend has been destroyed. The twisted antlers come in at strength user, which is 5, AP 2, armor bane 1. How do we feel about the Praeton? I don't hate it for 160. It feels about correct for the points, but it is only a T5 4 wound model with pretty much no save.
Yeah, it's got
It's got heavy armor.
Yeah. He's fine. Like you're right, Adam. I think for 160 points, he's probably I feel like this kind of monster is just like usually a little bit overcosted. He's really good. He's really fast. I like that part. Awesome at clearing chaff. If there were a lot of that in the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fly 10 with impact hits and like decent attacks is quite good.
And terror.
And terror.
Yeah,
I think
terror.
I think the main problem is like everybody has just gotten really spoiled by gigantic chaos spawn, and so now they're like, I need something that can kill stuff and is also as survivable as this shit. And I mean, this of course isn't with just the 5 armor.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I also, if I saw this in somebody's list, I wouldn't think that they were making a terrible mistake. Because it's not that overcosted, right?
I have some issues with the stat line, right? Because how many points does Dragon Ogre Shaggoth and has the same wounds, 1 less toughness? Sorry,
the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth has 6 wounds, I think.
I think
Shartak. My bad.
Oh, 4 wounds.
Shartak is 70 points.
So, yeah, it's 70. So this guy's getting squished out because you can go 1 rung down on the monster profile and get 2 Shartaks with kit that technically hit harder because they got great weapons. It's strength 7, and are more durable but are slower. Or you can go 1 rung higher and get the giant chaos spawn. So there's kind of no reason to run this guy, even though I do think it's kind of reasonable for the points. It's just squished out by better value.
I wish he had Swift Stride.
Doesn't have Swift Stride? Oh, piss off.
Yeah, why?
No, dead to me. Why does it have Swiss Stride? That's insane.
It's like that's stupid. I didn't notice that. Good catch, Peter.
No, me either. GG. All right. Danny got his favorite. Peter, you can have your favorite. Give us the Herdstone.
So the Herdstone is 0 to 1 per army, and it costs 100 Games Workshop points.
Big game daddy bucks.
A Herdstone is an unusual type of terrain feature, or a unique type of special feature. I'm sorry. Wow, I read that completely wrong. Measuring no more than 6 inches at its widest point. So it can be anything 6 inches wide. Unless stated otherwise, a single Herdstone may be included as a special choice in any Beastmen Brayherds army made using any army composition list. A Herdstone is an impassable terrain feature and must be fielded as presented here. Alternatively, if the players agree, a special feature specifically specified by a scenario can be replaced with a Herdstone if you're playing those. So if you place the Herdstone, it goes after you roll for deployment, but before you deploy. The Beastmen player, you place it on the battlefield. It can be placed anywhere that's not within your opponent's deployment zone and is not within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. A Herdstone can be controlled by a single unit that's within 6 inches of it, as long as it has a unit strength of 5 or more, and is not fleeing. If 2 or more eligible units belonging to opposing armies are within 6 inches, the unit closest to the Herdstone controls it. If 2 units belonging to opposing armies are equally close, a Herdstone is contested and nobody controls it. So it has for some reason 5 special rules.
Yeah,
Guys,
5.
you need to understand
has-
this is an indestructible unit in your army
Correct.
for
Cannot be
100
targeted.
points.
Cannot
And
be
it has
targeted.
5 special rules.
It's self-placed terrain also that is, as far as I can tell, impassable completely.
It
So
is.
you could just place this to be a wall. You could just place this to mess up your opponent's plans or their vanguard or their
And
whatever.
if you lose it and your opponent gets the control, you were losing the game anyway.
Anyway,
Right.
Continue, Danny.
So one more thing. This thing has more and better special rules than entire Arcane Journal's Armies of Infamy combined.
It's
Just putting it out there. Like the entire Empire Arcane Journal doesn't measure up to the single effing Hearthstone. Like it's wild. Sorry, Danny. Sorry. Got a little passionate there.
It's all true though. Like I can't deny a single thing that you just said. Yeah. Anyway, so this first special rule is a tingle in the air. The air around a Hearthstone tingles strangely, and those that stand too close report a funny taste in their mouths. A unit that controls the Hearthstone gets magic resistance 1. Then you have Bestial Fury. If a Hearthstone is controlled by a Beastmen Brayherds unit, friendly Beastmen Brayherd units that are within 12 inches of the Hearthstone may reroll any to wound rolls of a natural 1 while engaged in combat. I don't even think I've used that yet.
No.
Wow. Anyway, Dark Sorcery. The winds of magic flow strangely around a Hearthstone. If the Hearthstone is controlled by a Beastmen Brayherds unit, friendly Beastmen Brayherds wizards that are within 12 inches gain a +1 modifier to their casting rolls, and enemy wizards that are within 12 inches of the Hearthstone suffer a -1 to their casting rolls. Fearsome Edifice. Whilst within 12 inches of a Hearthstone that is controlled by a Beastmen Brayherds unit, enemy units suffer a -1 penalty to their leadership characteristic when making a leadership test due to fear, panic, or terror. And then finally, it has victory points associated with it. As with all special features, Hearthstones are an important landmark, and controlling one at the end of the battle is a significant achievement. To represent this, if either player controls a Hearthstone at the end of the battle, that player is awarded a bonus of 200 victory points.
So let me get this straight. Just talking about the last one of those. If I spend 100 points of my army, essentially that's 100 points that's banked that my opponent cannot get from my army.
Yep.
And if I control it at the end of the game, this thing pays out 200 VP to me. And it can be placed at the back of the table in my DZ.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sick.
all of those things are true.
It
You know
also
what unit can control this perfectly, Adam?
what
Is a great shaman on Chariot is
Yep.
unit strength 5. He's
exactly
he
unit
loves
strength 5.
it. He loves
Yep.
it.
He loves it. So you get an aura of the unit that's controlling it gets magic res 1. If you
Yep.
control it, you put an aura of real 1s to wound. You get +1 to cast for you, -1 to cast for your opponent, and -1 leadership. There are no downsides. Your opponent gets nothing for controlling it. If they do
Right.
wrestle-
That's my
if they
takeaway,
do
Adam.
wrestle control off you, there's nothing here that will benefit them. And this thing can go straight to hell.
I don't think it's
It's those
like,
200
should go to
points,
hell.
Adam. That's what they get for enduring it.
The rules are insultingly good. I'm not saying this thing breaks the game. It doesn't. It's just an absurd level of value that nothing else in the game, I think, compares to the value this 100-point unkillable terrain piece brings you.
I will say then, in at least half the games I've played against this book and with this book, the Hearthstone has been like the key factor in how it ended. Like even in Danny and I's first game, that I was, it looked like I was very clearly winning. We ended up in a draw because of the Hearthstone victory points at the end of the game.
Yep.
So like it comes up often.
I'm kind of the opinion, and forgive me if I'm wrong, this is the best single 100-point thing you can buy in the game.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's no Lord level character. There's no Dragon Lord. There's nothing you can get for 100 points, really, that comes anywhere near this.
I mean, like, I think the thing that it's also indestructible helps because, like, the Casket of Souls before it got nerfed, it's still an amazing thing at like 130, right? And has a very similar kind of. Actually, it isn't even as good, but it's got a lot of benefits. But you can kill it. Whereas this thing you can't. No, it's amazing. I had when I was talking to some people about it when we first got the books and talking to other people that had them. I had a couple people like, I don't think it's that good. And now I was like, you are insane. Like it's impossible that this isn't good. Most games you're just going to like deploy it just a little bit outside your deployment zone because that 12-inch bubble is pretty big. And then you're just going to run your Great Bray Shaman chariot like to the edge of it and do whatever you can and then run him backwards when stuff gets close to you, right? Like,
yep.
It's quite good.
So it's placed before deployment. Yeah, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good.
It's been influential in the games that I've played a lot,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the bonus to cast is super helpful, and it makes that wizard just by himself just really reliable. Gets off like all the spells he casts.
Yeah.
And I don't have to spend points on magic resistance for him anymore either. Like I was taking the Spell Eater Axe, and now I won't. Because why? Like I get MR1, and he's pretty tough.
Yep.
It's crazy. And like not only that, it blocks line of sight. So like when I was playing against Peter, I would like hide units behind it.
Yeah. Ring around the rosy.
Yeah, I do wonder if it actually does, right? Because I think Impassable doesn't technically block line of sight, but it blocks cannon fire. We have to do some research on that.
Yeah, we should look at that. My bad. If I
it's okay because like true line
that
of
would
sight
make it less bad or less overpowered.
True line of sight kind of technically exists in this game as well, though. So like, if I can't see you, can I even shoot it? Anyway, the one thing I've heard people talking about when it comes to this, and I've heard they're doing it as well in the UK in particular with the Wood Elf forests, is because you're allowed to make it whatever you want. They're making them donuts.
Okay.
So and then you deploy your unit in the middle of the donut. So that they can't be charged. And potentially can't be shot at. They definitely can't be cannoned. And so like Wood Elf players do it so that like they can protect their unit from shooting whatever special unit they want.
You have move through cover and you just leave at will via whichever access you want.
So so technically you could do it with this because like impassable terrain, you can't end your movement on it. And by making the hole, you're technically just saying like it's all the stuff around the hole that's impassable. So that unit can't move unless it's a flyer. But like if you're gonna do like there's a play in the game in this list right now with Bestigors with like a small unit of like 5, and you'll probably want to protect them. An easy way to protect them, especially if it's ruled that you can't be targeted, is to put them in a fucking impassable donut. Just to get what you want out of it. But anyway, I'm hoping that gets FAQ'd because it would be baloney. I just wouldn't allow it at any of my events. If I saw somebody do it, I would just like break the thing in half and be like, "Thanks, guy."
You have 2 bagels now. You have 2 croissants instead of your donut. So the only restrictions, it has to be no more than 6 at its widest point. Doesn't say anything about height. So, this thing could be like 6 feet tall.
You could just get a giant poster tube. 6 inches wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a poster tube. And then like, and then like stick that on the table. It could be like 8 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Easy. All right. We're into Law of Primal Magic. The Primordial Gloom is the signature spell. It's a magical vortex with the casting value of 9+, range 12. Remains in play. Place a small 3-inch blast template so that its central hold is within 12 of the caster. Whilst in play, the template does not move and is treated as dangerous terrain. Whilst within 6 of the template, enemy suffers a -1 to their leadership characteristic to a minimum of 2, and treat open ground as difficult terrain. So it's dangerous. Everything within 6 is difficult, and it gives -1 leadership, but it remains in play. It is casting value on a 9, so it's pretty hard to just like whip off a once per turn an unenhanced dispel. A faded dispel. It's very hard to fade a dispel.
Yeah, this is just like a mini spiritual vortex, right? It's 2 less to cast. It's got a slightly lower range. It's only a 3-inch instead of a 5-inch template, but everything else is kind of the same of it, right?
Yeah, but the difficult ground thing is really big.
Oh yeah, it's 6 inches.
Within 6 inches of the 3-inch template, so it's like an 18-inch bubble.
Mm-hmm. in circumference.
No, that is good.
Call of the Wild is a conveyance, casting value of 8, range 12. This spell can only target a friendly model whose troop type is infantry or cavalry. Until the end of this turn, the target friendly unit gains reserve move. Yep. Funnily enough, not that big on this army. Not bad, but not. I don't know. It's fine actually. It's fine.
Yeah, there's not a lot of drilled in the army, and other than, and there's not a lot of units that you normally care to reserve move. I guess in this situation,
I was thinking the archers maybe like
your archers or like a unit of dragon ogres because they're technically cavalry. So
yeah,
or go. The sire of 1,000 spawn and his 1,000 spawn sire, cavalry and off into cavalryness, all drunk and shit.
Perfect, Adam. You've solved them.
In Gloaming Wildwood is a hex with a casting value of 10, range 15. Remains in play. While this spell is in play, the target enemy unit fears all models in the caster's army, not including allies or mercenaries. Models in the caster's army that already have fear now cause terror instead. If this spell is cast, the effects of any other hexes are, of course, expire. But I guess does everything have fear? Do like gauls and ungauls and stuff have fear? I know like minotaurs and stuff do.
No,
not everything.
Yeah, fair.
But like dragon ogres do. I think razor gores do?
All right, Flock of Doom, Assailment, casting value of 8. It's in combat. Place a small 3-inch blast template so that its central hole is directly over the center of a unit the caster is engaged in combat with. Once placed, the template will scatter D3+1. Any enemy models whose base lay underneath the template's final position risk being hit and suffering a single strength 3 hit with an AP of nothing. These units have these wounds have the multiple wounds 2 special rule. These hits, sorry. Oh man, this is dumb.
It's just dog shit. It's not good.
It's the most terrible thing I've read in a while.
It's the worst version of Flock of Doom we've maybe ever seen.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. And Flock of Doom hasn't been like it's always been like a workhorse, baby. It's been a bit of a like
wasn't it like a fireball? Yeah, it was like was it 2d6 strength 3 hits?
It was much similar to what Viletide is right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was just like 3d6 or 4d6 on the upper side, strength 2 nothings, but you could just like peck them away, killing chaff. Anyway, Fury of the Beast is an enchantment of a casting value of 9+. It's on self. Until the end of the turn, the caster in any unit they have joined gains the fight and extra rank rule, but it's on self, which is why it bothers me. So if you could put your caster on a chariot, this is a nothing burger, and then if you put them in a unit, they're probably going to die. All right. Strangleroot is up next for Magic Missile, range casting value of 9, 4d6 range, draw a straight line. Oh boy, I love drawing lines. This must be great, right? 4d6 in length from the caster's base edge.
Actually.
Any model whose base falls under this line suffers D3 strength 3 hits with an AP of 2. So any enemy model. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This isn't bad.
No. This is like the
best. This is the best thing we've seen so far. Yeah. Okay, cool. And last one is Neath the Shaden Woadspan. Is another magical vortex with a casting value of 10. So this is the third template spell, isn't it? Yeah, this is the third template spell. Range 15, casting value of 10. It remains in play, large blast, 5-incher. Casting is within 15, put the hole within 15 of the caster. Whilst in play, the template does not move and is treated as dangerous terrain over which no line of sight can be drawn. Whilst within 6 of the template, enemy either suffers a -2 modifier to the ballistic skill characteristic to a minimum of 1. Enemy unit that ends a move within 3 of the template must immediately take a panic test. If this test is failed, the unit will flee directly away from the nearest enemy unit, which is not in itself fleeing. Yeah, when drawing the line that usually is associated with terrible things, terrible spells, is the best thing. Yeah, you're in a bad place.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, Strangleroot is not bad.
Strangleroot isn't bad. Neath the Shaden Woadspan is fine too. Because it doesn't hurt the Tomb King's poison bomb, but it hurts the rest. Even then, it
cooks the night. Cooks the night goblin. Wow, absolutely cooks the night goblins.
It cooks the night goblins. It cooks the ungors. The Tomb Kings will still hit on 6s, so they'll still get their poison, but they won't hit on 5s automatically because it's a ballistic skill reduction, not like a to hit reduction, which is good. So like it's a good vortex. It's on a 10+. Yeah. And Fury of the Beast, the only time I would run that, I would want that is if you're trying to like go all in on Bestigors, because giving Bestigors fight next to ranks might actually make them do a thing.
Yeah. Fair. All right, time for the Magique. We're going to go Peter, Danny, myself. So Peter, take it away.
Okay, Beastmen, Brayherds, magic items. The first one, and this is probably the one that's like the least playable, and I still think it might be playable at some point if you want to go crazy. This is the Black Maul. It's 80 points. This brutal spiked cudgel is stained black with the blood of 1,000 victims. Those that wield the club for too long become overwhelmed by its thirst for violence. So this is a strength +2, AP 3 weapon with extra attacks plus D6 and magical attack special rules. So it's 80 points for some pretty mental stats other than no multiple wounds. Each time a natural 6 is rolled for the extra attack special rule, however, the wielder of the Black Maul suffers a -1 modifier to their weapon characteristic to a minimum of weapon skill characteristics to a minimum of 1 for the remainder of the game. I don't think it needed that last part because it's 80 points, but
80 points, baby. It doesn't need any downsides.
At the same time, of the downsides for the extra attack ones, because there's others, this is like the least bad because I think the orc one, you just like stop getting the extra attacks. And this on like a Doom Bull means your average amount of attacks every turn is going to be 10 or 11 if once they've gotten into Blood Frenzy. And that's not terrible. So like, while I wouldn't run this myself, if you ran this on a Doom Bull in a game, I'd be like, that thing's gonna kill some shit. Like he's got a lot of attacks.
Is he strength 6 base? Is that strength 8 AP 3 with 12 attacks?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's real, man.
Kind of hot.
Like barely any save, but it's like he's gonna kill a thing. Like
but you just stick him in a unit that like gives out fights last.
And
I guess you could put like some one Doom Bull that's super stacked and fights last and -1 every hit, and
you have the challenge beast and you have the blender, and this is the blender. All right, Danny.
We got Axes of Korgor. This is a 40-point magic weapon. It's a close combat weapon. It's strength +1, -2 AP, extra attacks +1, magical attacks, and requires 2 hands. With a italicized text, the wielder of the Axes of Korgor may re-roll any wound rolls of a natural 1 made during the combat phase.
Also
totally legit. Website. Yeah, it's good, right?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yeah.
Usually we don't like the requires 2 hands because you can't take a shield, but in this case, like
there ain't no shields.
Who can't? Well, you mean Doom Bulls can still take a shield, but like
there ain't no shields.
Like the fact is, like almost anything you're putting this on is wounding almost everything it's fighting on 2s anyway. So now you're just getting everything through. AP2 at initiative is always amazing. This for 40 points too. Like this is great.
It's really good. All right, the Brass Cleaver for 30 points. It's combat strength user AP2 magical attacks. So any models are not permitted an armor, ward, or regeneration save against an attack made with this weapon if the wielder rolls a natural 6 when making the to wound roll. So roll a 6, no save, 0, straight on through, no armor, ward, or regen.
30 points. Yeah. That is such a
30
that's
points.
a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Pretty baller. I'm not amazed by it, but it's pretty good because I mean you could just take a killing blow weapon and have a similar, but
they still get words against it. Right?
They do, but then
it's monsters. So,
but then they're dead instead of taking 1 wound.
Not a monster and not a chariot.
But you know what I mean? I'm talking about either of those. It's technically a similar effect, but it's just single wound killing blow essentially.
Yeah. Anyway. But it works on everything. I think there's some like real play here with this thing, especially once again on like
take it with a shield.
You can take it with a shield. And like we've already talked about like Doom Bulls and like Beast Lords and stuff where they're already strength 5 and 6, and with a bunch of attacks. So sometimes all you want is just 1 or 2 to go through, especially on these like triple save monsters and shit.
Yeah.
Like it makes a difference.
All right, back to Peter.
The Scimitar of Skulltar, 25 points. This is probably the one you'll see the most. The dark serrated blade of this weapon is engraved with words of power in the dark tongue, keeping its biting edge keen and sharp for all time. So this is a strength user, AP 1, armor bane 1, magical attack, multiple wounds 2 weapon. So 25 points, multiple wounds 2 with AP is just always good. And there is a mutation that can give you an additional AP on this. So now it's AP 2 with multiple wounds 2. At 25 points, like
it's a bargain.
You're going to probably take it on a Wargore in your list at some point, especially in the Primal Wild Herd, where you have the 25 extra points to put on it.
Oh, yeah.
You just
perfect,
do it.
Right?
Exactly. It was made for that.
I think this weapon is the best point for per value for a magic weapon in the whole game.
I agree. I literally think it's the best. Yeah. This is better than the 50-point magic items in most other books.
Yeah. That's accurate.
I mean, look at the Wood Elf weapons and then like look at this list and it's like anyway.
This is wild that I believe every one of these magic weapons is takeable. For the first, I don't think I've ever said that. I don't think I've ever said that this game, this old world, I've never said that all the magic weapons in your magic weapon section are takeable. That's disgusting. How dare they?
This book has probably a dozen or more magic items that are great.
Anyway. We're about to get to one of the
out of 13.
Sections. We're about to get one of the busted sections. Danny, this is all you, and tell people why this is absurdly good.
Adam, thank you, first of all, from the bottom of my heart for giving me this. So magic armor. Firstly, Beastmen get 3 magic armors for reasons, but 2 of them are basically the same entry. Full plate chaos armor and heavy chaos armor. 40 points for full plate, 30 points for heavy. Both of these are extremely common. Full plate chaos armor is a suit of full plate armor. Heavy chaos armor is a suit of heavy armor. Both may be purchased and worn by a wizard, even if they do not have the option of being equipped with armor, shield, or barding without penalty. In addition, the wearer of chaos armor has a 5+ ward save against any wound suffered.
And all I have to say, Dickie, get ready. What the hell are they thinking? All right, every character, just Oprah Winfrey. Everyone has a 5-up ward. You want a 5-up ward? Everyone has a 5-up ward. This is nuts.
It's really good.
They didn't have to make it extremely common, but Beastmen didn't really have a ward save inherent in their magic items yet, so it needed to come somewhere. This is maybe a slight overreaction to that, but amazing.
And with as you'll note, we were talking about some of the wild ass combos you can do in the Wild Herd where you have 25 more points.
Right.
I mean, essentially, the heavy chaos armor is 5 points because 25 of that point is offset by the Army of Infamy. So,
right.
Go nuts. It's go nuts. Windmill slam it on every character that you have from now on in Beastmen has no reason to not have a ward save. Like straight up. It's just All right.
Yeah, with heavy chaos armor being exactly the same price as a talisman of protection.
Yeah,
correct.
The only reason why you don't take the talisman, or the only place you take the talisman these days now is on your chariots, right? Like otherwise,
no. You still take heavy chaos armor because it you get a 5+ armor save, and then you can Bray Staff for +2.
Oh, in combat,
make you a 3+. So it's just better.
Okay.
GG. Wow. Well, they wrote it. They wrote an army that doesn't take the auto take magic. Yeah,
they did it.
Magic item.
All right. So the other armor that we have is the fur of. Sorry. Do you want me to do both?
You're doing it.
Okay,
mate.
Sure. Sorry, man. The fur of Shargu. This is a 20-point magic armor. It may be worn with other armors. The bearer of the fur of Shargu may improve their armor save by 2 against non-magical shooting attacks.
This is one of the bad ones.
Yeah,
it is.
This is
That's
13 out of 12.
This is okay. It's okay that this one-
Talismans, the Chalice of Dark Rain for 50 points, single use during the command subphase of their turn. If they are not engaged in combat, the bearer of the Chalice of Dark Rain may drink from it. Have a big old guzzle. Until the start of your next turn subphase, the range of all enemy missile weapons is halved, rounding up in the case of fractions, and enemy war machines cannot shoot. I mean, in teams, this thing is auto take because you play against that goof off who takes the 6 cannon dwarf army, and you're like, turn 1, no shots, send, run the whole army, everything in marching column, go. This thing is wild, and I'm not sure if I was going to a 6-round GT whether I would take it, but holy crap, I would want to do some meta analysis, try and figure out who's coming, and then be like, is this broken or pointless?
Yeah.
What do you boys think?
It's very good. Single use is what makes it not broken. Because like there are some armies where this will do nothing for 50 points. And even some armies that it does do stuff against, like they'll get around it. Right. But it's still quite good. And I know a lot of Beastmen players will be quite excited to see this, and they'll slam it into their lists if they have the 50 points. And I don't think it's a bad decision. I was having a hard time fitting it in.
Me too.
Yeah. It's still a great item. It's a great item.
Yeah, totally. It's totally a good item. I would never think badly of someone who chose to take this in their army. I think it would be like, oh, that's a good choice.
This is an awesome item. Yeah. There's just so many. The Cornucopia of Corpulence for 30 points. This twisted basket overflows with such abundant filth that the weak might drown in its bounty. Whenever the bearer's combat is chosen during step 1.1 of the choose and fight combat subphase, enemy models in base contact with the bearer of the Cornucopia of Corpulence must make a toughness test. If this test is failed, they lose a wound. No saves. They just lose a wound. Yep. This is fine. It's you probably don't take it, but like I was really trying to figure out a way to like, is there a possible way where I could put this on a chariot and then like Tokyo drift into a unit so you get as much shit in base contact as possible? But yeah, no, it's like it's fine. It's okay. If you had a lot more like toughness reducers in this army, I would say it would be great. And maybe if they get some in the future. But
I'm kind of glad that stuff is not really in the game right now.
It's okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for now. For now, it's not in the game. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Gore Banner.
Next, we have the Gore Banner. The Gore Banner is a magic banner costing 50 points. If a unit wishes to declare a charge against a unit carrying the Gore Banner, it must first take a leadership test. If this test has failed, the unit cannot charge. If it does not move, and it is considered to have failed the charge. If the test is passed, the unit can charge as normal.
So wait, it doesn't stumble forward?
No, it just stays where it is.
Yep, easy. Fascinating.
So, okay.
So you put it on a unit.
Weird banner, right?
Yeah.
I think you would. Okay, so if you're going to play that cute scream build, you should take this on your bunker because you're already going to be reducing stuff's leadership. Yeah. And so if you don't want to get charged and want to keep yelling at people, like I think this is a good take in that like scenario.
I do think you can't call this a scream list. You have to call this the Bray list. Sorry, not screaming, your brain.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. But yeah, this could be nuts. But I just don't think it's going to come up that often. Sure, no. But like you're actually right because it's better. It's much better on your bunker than it is on your Death Star because they're not going to charge your Death Star with something with a shitty leadership anyway. They're charging with their best units, which will be 9 or 10 rerollable. Whereas they're going to try and charge your bunker with their fast cab out of general's range, their lone eagles and stuff like that. In which case, this can totally cook them. Yeah, I like that. All right, Banner of the Warped Moon for 45. During the combat subphase of their turn, if they are not engaged in combat, the bearer of this banner may attempt to unleash its power by making a leadership test using their own unmodified leadership. If this test is passed until your next starter turn subphase, enemy units cannot use the fly special rule. They have a horn. They may blow it. I hate that there's another one of these in the game, but also
So, as someone who complained about the Falcon Horn 2 episodes ago, and as a newly minted Beastmen player, I have to say this is really balanced. I'm really glad to see this in the game. It's less good than the Falcon Horn because of the chassis you have to put it on, which is a Leadership 7 model.
Yeah,
or basically, because I mean it's unmodified leadership, so you can't use like your warband bonus.
Yeah, can't use your warband. You can't use your like Gaze of the God stuff. That if you put it on your BSB, it's just always going to be 7 or whatever. A lot of people will probably look to Bestigors for this because they're veteran. So at least you'll get that 7 on a reroll, which means it'll be like 75% successful. It's still amazing, and you will put this in all of your lists somewhere.
If you are taking a list and going to a tournament, this will go in every list, I believe.
Yeah. It's just really good. It's even if you only succeed once in the game at shutting down their fly, it'll be worth it.
100%. Yeah.
And 100%. I think against Danny so far in our 2 games, he got it off every turn. It didn't even, maybe once he failed. Like
I think I failed the first time and then never again.
It's a son of a bitch. Yeah. Anyway.
I've been taking it on my BSB. And I think I like that better. I'd rather, because I want Vitriolic Totem still, because that's still an amazing banner. Anyway, this banner is also amazing. You should take it every single time you play Beastmen.
It's just so good. It's another banger.
Yeah.
And the next banner is not bad either. There's definitely uses for it. The Beast banner for 40 points, adorned with the shattered beast skulls of whatever. The Beast banner radiates an unquenchable thirst for battle. And this increases your maximum charge range by 3. And when you make a charge roll, you may apply a D3 modifier to the result. So it's kind of a mini Swift Stride.
Yeah, Swift Stride. It's great.
Yep.
You hate it for units that are impetuous, though, or are frenzied, because it's like less good Swift Stride in that case, because you still increase your charge range by the same amount.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's if you're like running some Minotaurs and you're like, I just really need to be in combat.
Yep.
Then you can do it
I agree. The Soiled TP is up next, Danny.
So the Soiled Tapestry is a 15-point magic banner. A unit carrying the Soiled Tapestry gains the Hatred special roll. However, all enemy models hate the unit carrying this banner.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes the poop flag, Adam. It's really disappointing.
Not a fan. It's stuck to the bottom of your shoe. You're looking like a goofus. Everyone hates you. Ha ha ha. It's your worst day at high school all over again.
But it's a really good magic banner.
Fantastic.
For 15 points. Yeah.
It's a
15 points. Hatred everything is not terrible.
No.
This is going to my Minotaur Death Star.
Yeah, because who do you care about hating you anyway? You're like, you're all dead. I don't care if you hit me.
You're all
dead.
You're all strikes last, so
yeah.
Good luck actually getting to hit me back. So good.
All right, Horn of the Great Hunt is up next. Yeah, as an Australian, I almost always mispronounce that on purpose. Once per turn after, it's 25 points. Once per turn after rolling to determine if a unit with the Ambusher special rule that is currently held in reserves as reinforcement arrives, and if the bearer of the Horn of the Great Hunt is on the battlefield and is not fleeing, you may apply a +1 or -1 modifier to the result. Not Bayard. If you're building into ambush, this thing is an auto take.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, between this and your like Beast Lord, if you're trying to do an ambush list, you're now gets like what +2 -2. No, you're +1 -1 and re-rolling. So you're pretty reliable for getting on the board when you want. Scourge of the Burdened is next for 25 points. This is an enchanted item that lets you cast the Call of the Wild spell from the lore of Primal Magic as a bound spell with the power level of 2. It's that this is the reserve move. This one, and just don't do it.
Nope.
Don't take this item. This is one of the bad items.
And in a well this deep, don't go this deep.
Yeah, you don't have to go this deep.
Nope. Danny.
All right. Next item is Cacophonous Dirge. It's 15 points. While their unit is within 18 inches of the bearer of the cacophonous dirge, enemy musicians cannot use their onwards to victory, steadying rhythm, or quick time rules. So no musicians within 18 inches of this item. This is another one that's maybe not so great.
Bottom of the well, all the way down. Deepest pits.
It's very cheap, though. Very cheap to shut off all musicians in the game. So, anyway.
Arcane items, Blood of the Shadow Gave. Shadow Gave?
Yeah. That's what Morgor is.
But what's the
Morgor is
give?
the Shadow Gave.
Yeah.
It's what he give. That Morgor, the Shadow gave Morgor.
He was the given of the 35
Yeah,
points.
the Shadow was like, here, take this dude.
Take this Morgor. And he's like, thank you.
Beastman Jesus.
I have been Shadow given.
Yeah.
Take
upon me your blood. This is my blood.
Yeah.
A wizard may use this item instead of making a wizardly dispel attempt. If they do, the spell is automatically dispelled with no dispel required. So this becomes a little part of I guess only ways I was figuring that primal magic would be very useful, because you go first. Let's say you go first against mortuary cults and you drop your large blast. They can't shoot through template in front of their archers, and then you auto shut down Arcane Urgency. And then you kind of and then the next turn you do the thing where you halve their shooting range, and you kind of just try and get away with 2 turns of not getting shot. But it's not something to be banked on. I don't mind Blood of the Shadow given gave her Jesus, but it's 35 points.
Okay, so hear me out. Are you ready for this? This is my take.
No. You don't take, you shadow give.
This arcane item is the most one in the game, because like the description of what you're doing, you're pouring clay jars of the blood of a beastman onto the ground, and babies grow out of it. Baby beastmen grow out of it that scream and eat all of the magic in the air and then disappear. How fun is that? Like if you're playing against, like if you're in the middle of a battle and some dude's just like, I'm gonna grow some babies in front of you. Like what the hell? What the hell, dudes? Like who wrote that?
Their shadow came and then their shadow went, man.
Have a grenade, guys.
Jesus Christ, Danny.
Oh no. Backpedal.
Backpedal quick. Okay, let's talk about probably the best magic item in the book. And there's so many good ones. But this one has had impact on, I think, my games. The Demon Heart for 30 points. This is an arcane item. Pulled, still beating from the chest of a shadow-skinned demon, this gruesome artifact must constantly consume magic lest it fade to dust. When attempting to dispel with a wizardly dispel, the bearer of the Demon Heart counts their level of wizardry as being 1 higher than that of the wizard whose spell they are dispelling, or, in the case of bound spells, 1 higher than that spell's power level.
Busto, auto take, incredible.
It's really, really good. This is what makes the Minotaur list work, because you can put this on your general and you still have lots of points to do other shit with him. Yep. And now he dispels it essentially as like a +5 against all your level 4s that you're up against. Dispelling bound spells with a +1 is also just stupidly good. And yeah, it's just great. You can put this on a level 2. Sure, you're only going to have an 18-inch dispel range, but you're getting a cheap +5 dispeller in most cases. Or you can put it on your level 4, and so you're always at least a +4, and then sometimes you're even better. It's great. It's like a really, really good item. I highly recommend it.
I would never not take this item. In my opinion, it's just freaking incredible for 30 points.
Actually, I will say, sorry, there is one downside. I misspoke. Like if you're dispelling somebody that's like a level 1 or a level 2, and you use this on a level 4, you still only get the +1. The bonus as if they were So there can be a point where you dispel worse if you put it on a level 4, but the bonuses are just way better anyway. So
Danny, last one.
All right, so we got Gore Tooth. This is another extremely common magic item for 15 points. In addition to the Lords of Magic, they normally can take spells from. They can also know spells from the Lore of Primal Magic if you really wanted to in a Grand Army or another army.
Whoop-de dingly dungly.
Yep, probably
That's
not.
it. That's it. That's the whole AJ. It's the whole Arcane Journal, boys. Time for us to rank and rate this stuff. As people who've played this, how happy out of 10 do you think Beastmen players will be or should be with this Arcane Journal?
I think probably an 8.5.
I would say that. Yeah. I was going to say between an 8 and a 9. Like it's really
I was trying to decide that too, Peter, and I couldn't. So I decided to just Solomon that number.
As one would. As one would.
So we have one fun skew Army of Infamy. We have one just very good Army of Infamy. We have like the best magic item pool. I think you could comfortably say of almost any Arcane Journal, or one of the best pools of in any Arcane Journal. The only two letdowns: there's no kind of good unit, and the magic law is trash. And that's like I call it. It lost 3 points for me for those two misses. So 7 out of 10 on the Adam scale, but freaking awesome for what it did give you.
Yeah,
Peter, did you give a score?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I was probably going to give it like an 8 or a 9. So yeah.
Nice, very high. What did we give like Wood Elves? I think I gave Wood Elves like a 5.
Yeah, it was not high.
I am the harshest of us, though. I'm the taskmaster. All right, where do we think the best Beastmen list will end up in our competitive list? So we have competitive, semi-competitive, and uncompetitive as our 3 tiers of play.
I struggled like deciding. I think it is competitive. But it's on like the lower end of competitive. Maybe with really good play, I think it would be like top tier.
Yeah, like Beastmen are an army that's like borderline really good. You're relying on a lot of Vile Tide spam to make it work.
Yeah.
And so I think like this puts them at the cusp of where they need to be. Not quite. But I might be wrong. It might actually be what shoves them to the top. Because like you still don't have a dragon. You still don't have like a combat character that can fly around on like a big monster, which is a big hurdle for this army.
You only sort of have cavalry and not armor saves.
Exactly. Yeah. But like you now have incredible wizards that are on par or better than basically everybody else's, barring mortuary cults. The Herdstone will change games for you. You have a lot of good.
The best chaff unit in the game.
Yeah.
Harpies are amazing. Like there's so many, and both armies can take harpies too.
Yeah. So that's also a good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I'm pretty high on what this will do for the army, and pretty excited to see what people come up with.
Yeah, me too. I think they're definitely in the competitive tier for sure, as in that they're on the power rankings. But they just have matchups. They just have bad matchups in the meta. They're one of the very much the rock, paper, scissors variety right now, where they can just get run over if things don't go right and outmaneuvered. But we'll unpack more of that over on part 2, where we're going to be talking about what matchups these Arcane armies of infamy make better or worse, etc., all that stuff. Talk about the games these boys have already played, in addition to answering any of our Patreon questions. You want to get into that goodness? Look us up on Patreon, That Old World Charm. Say goodnight, boys.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to That Old World Charm with those charming chaps, Adam, Danny, and Peter the Falcon. Thanks ever so much. Cheerio.